Here we go, another top 5. Let's get this over with. Top 5 maps that really need more details or remodeling around their entire basic map area. Number 5, we're going to be going over Construction Site. Construction Site is by far one of the maps that I really actually do like. A giant open space with 4 giant skyscrapers. Three of them, that is one on the top left of the corner, one in the middle, and one in the bottom right of the corner of the map. And each of them are basically blueprints of how the building will, how many floors of the building will there be, how tall will the building be, how long is the floor is going to be, that type of stuff. And one of the, on the top left of the skyscraper, you can actually climb up there by going up the stairs, getting up a medkit station, and escaping by using a rescue vehicle. And then finally, the 4th skyscraper is a giant red crane which you can actually go on, and 99.9% chance of the time you will basically fall to your death.
Oh my god!
And that's about it in this map. There's just a bunch of sand everywhere with all of these iron or whatever those are, what's it called? Piles just stacked up on each other, which you can obviously go on top of, have cover behind, and that's about it. There's not really much else to this map. What I would suggest is mainly having like a bunch of like these what's it called, fence gates all around as well, just like a bunch of like shacks filled with like wooden tools, hammers, that type of stuff, to basically give the general view that there was literally construction going around here. There's only one vehicle here on that map that can actually look like it's construction, but what they can also have is basically a tow truck for whatever reasons, and basically other vehicles like that. And one of the other things they can have is hard hats, what's it called, construction suits, and life jackets just all around the place. And maybe possibly, just possibly, you could, I was gonna say a construction zombie for some reason, but basically like what's it called, drills somewhere around, like tools or something like that, mainly just giving the overall view that there was construction going on there. But all there is sand, skyscrapers, and only one vehicle. Next up is Farm. Farm has about 4-ish buildings. There is, of course, 1, a house, and number 2, a shed or a shack, whatever you want to call it, where basically the medkit station will spawn there 100% of the time. And then finally, a little bit of a shed where you basically keep what's it called, the hay as supplies for food to feed the horses, obviously. And then finally, the 4th one, which is the barn, which of course was where the horses were supposed to be, you know, that are dead, whatever. Anyway, then there are these giant squares, dirt piles, and I'm pretty sure that's mostly because there's supposed to be like corn or whatever crops that are supposed to be there as well. But what I believe they should actually add is, of course, like the crops, like of course like tall weed, grass, whatever that is, and then also corn, so mainly to use it as like an ambush for the infected, because this map is basically kind of in the favor for humans because there's like so many buildings you can actually go on top of to get the advantage for viewing and all of that stuff, and also camping. Really, having these crops will mainly give infected a little bit of an ambush attack, especially for like chillers and hunters, and I think about tanglers as well, so they can just chill in there and ambush survivors at the right moment. Also because it just makes the map look a lot better as a farm map, obviously, with a bunch of crops everywhere. And then finally, what they could also add is a bunch of like wooden poles with wooden pillars with like lanterns on the very top of them to make it look like it was basically ready for night mode, if they ever add nighttime weather, basically. And that's really all I would actually give it to Farm, because it is a pretty nice looking map, but overall it needs a little bit more changes. Number 3, Death Valley. Death Valley is by far one of the maps that barely has anything. Let's look at what we got. Number 1, a giant water tower that you can actually climb by using the ladder and camp up there, but you have to be careful, very careful around tanglers and spitters. Don't basically be, I guess, in the open, but at the same time, the spitters can just shoot you and you're basically screwed. Next, we have a house, which you can basically camp inside, or basically get your medkit station that spawns there 100% of the time, and basically do your own thing in there, maybe even defend the house, who knows. And then you can also go on top of the house, which I guess is pretty cool, by using the ladder. And then there's a helipad for some reason. I'm pretty sure it's mainly because the people who live there just want it for some reason. Maybe it's like a supply thing, maybe it's like a secret government thing, I don't know. But all I know is that there's a helipad, and then finally a docking kind of thing on the very far edge of the map. And then you got just a bunch of rocky borders all around the map, and that's about it. There's not really much else. And plus, this map is one of the biggest somehow, with a bunch of trees everywhere. Now, what they could add is probably make it so that you spawn a little tiny bit more trees, a few shacks to mainly have, like, I don't know, like wood or something like that in there. Maybe like fuel for no reason, just maybe for like helicopter reasons or something like that. And possibly add just a little tiny bit more buildings, like little stores, or maybe like little shacks that people actually did live in, or just maybe like another house realistically, because there's really not much else apart from just a bunch of trees, one house, one giant water tower, and a helipad. Realistically, this map needs a lot of changes, especially for details. Next up is snow map. I forgot what it was called, Polar Peak or some shit like that. All I know is that this map has barely anything. All right, let's look at what we got. A giant winter or snowy mountain with trees on the top that kind of look like ears, and basically 2 houses at the very bottom that have potentially medkit station spawning in them. And that's it. There's literally nothing else. I mean, there is a waterfall in the middle of the giant mountain tower, but that's it. There's literally nothing else. What they could add, okay, this is pretty tricky, but maybe what they could add is just like falling snow from the sky, I guess, just for scenery effects, and then possibly have, for whatever reason, like candy cane, like what's it called, statues, or like models just like laying over to make it look Christmassy, I guess. And maybe have it so there's like a lot more houses to like where you spawn. There could be like a house all the way on the bottom right hand corner of the map where you spawn to, basically to the right. And I can't really think much else. This map just really doesn't have anything else. What they could also do is basically remodel the entire map, like take away the giant mountain in the middle, put a lot more houses to make it look like festivity, of course snow falling from the sky, and basically just have a lot more of an open area with like a kind of like a village during like winter season or something like that. Because realistically, a giant mountain with only 2 houses, there's not much detail and it gets pretty boring so far. Now, number 1, this map needs a change. Subway station. There is no map, apart from like kind of Apocalypse Park, that is just as small and just as bland and just as boring as Subway Station. Let's look at what we have. A subway station. Obviously 2 tunnels that you can basically go through, or 2 basic, what's it called? Train or whatever the hell you call them, I guess, railroads. And then a bunch of hallways you can go through. That's it. There's literally nothing else. Where are the basic signs hanging from the ceiling saying what train or whatever it is coming next? Where are the safety railroads that could possibly just be destroyed or just fallen right into the train passageway, or maybe even like, I guess, like stairs leading up to the surface? I mean, the only things they really got is that on one side of the map there is a bunch of rocks, just like, I guess, covering this one way out with like a train as well, and that's about it. There's not much else detail. This map has really no detail. It's a little bit gloomy. It's really small. There's only hallways you can actually go through. That's the only thing that this map is. Hallways, 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 while there's basically no other things. Where are the posters on the walls, the notes? Where's everything else? Where are the benches? Instead, all we have is just hallways, tunnels, or just 2 big tunnels basically for the trains, obviously. And that's about it. This map needs a change with benches, hanging signs, or hanging trains that are coming, maybe even stairs that lead up to the surface but are of course covered in by like a train, a car, or something like that, just like what they did twice on that map. And overall, this map needs changes. Finally, we're here at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching and everything you have done for me, or done for us, basically, in the community. And yeah, hope you guys all have a great game the next time you play this game. And yeah, see you guys all in about 32 years. Open your mind, say goodbye.